opening when worry becomes your shadow. Have you ever noticed how worry creeps in when the world around you is perfectly still? It's late at night, your body is begging for rest, but your heart races as if a disaster is just around the corner. You close your eyes and suddenly you're reliving a mistake from years ago or rehearsing a tragedy that hasn't even happened. Your room is quiet, but inside it feels like you're standing in the middle of a storm. That's the cruelty of worry. It convinces you that you're safer if you keep thinking, if you keep preparing. But has it ever saved you? Or has it only stolen your sleep, your peace, your ability to simply enjoy the life that is right in front of you? Worry is like lighting an oil lamp at noon. The sun is already shining, yet you waste the oil, strain your eyes, and wonder why the world still feels dim. The truth is, the world wasn't dark. You just couldn't see its light because worry was in the way. So ask yourself, how much of your life has worry stolen already? How many mornings have you woken up tired, not because of what happened, but because of everything your mind forced you to live through before it ever came true? Chapter 1: The Burden of Worry. Worry is like walking around your living room holding an open umbrella. There is no storm above you, no raindrops falling, and yet your arm grows tired, your vision is blocked, and you bump into furniture that was never in your way before. Isn't this exactly what anxiety does? It convinces us that danger is near, even when the skies are perfectly clear. How many times have you caught yourself preparing for storms that never came? Maybe you feared losing a job you still have. Maybe you imagined an argument with someone who, in reality, never spoke those words to you. Or maybe you lay awake at night, replaying disasters that only lived inside your head. Did those worries ever change the outcome, or did they simply steal your sleep, your energy, your joy? Look at nature. After a storm, the meadow does not tremble, waiting for the next thundercloud. It blooms, stretches toward the sun, and lives fully until the sky darkens again. Why then do we humans, blessed with intelligence, spend so much of our time hiding under umbrellas of fear, even indoors? The Buddha once said that anxiety is the thief of today. And isn't that the truth? Worry makes us live twice, once in the suffering of imagination and again, sometimes in reality. But the pain of the imagined life almost always comes first, and it often lingers longer. Letting go of worry does not mean ignoring responsibilities. It means choosing to fight only the battles that are real. To stop worrying is not carelessness, it is clarity. When you finally close the umbrella and look around, you see the truth. The air is calm, the room is safe, and life is quietly waiting for you to join it. So ask yourself, what umbrellas are you holding up right now? What storms are you bracing for that haven't even formed? What weight could you put down today that would let you breathe a little easier? Lesson: worry doesn't protect you, it only blocks presence. Practice the umbrella check. 3 times today, pause for 2 minutes. Notice if you're holding an umbrella of fear in your mind. Ask, is it raining right now, or am I imagining a storm? If it's something you can act on, take one small step. Send the email, write the reminder, make the call. If it's something you cannot control, write it down. Draw a line through it and whisper to yourself, letting go. Then breathe, return to the present, and step forward lighter. Chapter 2: The Power of Presence. Presence is like sunlight streaming through a window. The light has always been there, but when the glass is clouded with dust, you can't see its warmth. Thoughts of yesterday and fears of tomorrow are that dust. They pile up until the brilliance of the moment is hidden from view. How often do we find ourselves anywhere but here? You sit down to eat, but your mind is racing through tomorrow's meeting. You go for a walk, but your head is replaying an old mistake. You lie in bed, yet your thoughts have already leapt ahead to next week. It's like trying to enjoy a song while two other radios blare in the background. There's no harmony, only noise. Think of a river. When the water is calm, it reflects the sky with perfect clarity. When disturbed by ripples and mud, the reflection is lost, even though the sky has not changed. Our lives are like that river. The present moment is always here, but when stirred by endless thinking, we lose sight of it. A woman once told me she spent years drowning in regret for choices she made in her youth. "If only I had worked harder," she said, "I'd be in a different place." But regret did not rewrite her past. It only clouded her present. One day she tried something simple. She washed dishes with her full attention, feeling the warm water, hearing the clink of the plates. And she said it was like waking from a long sleep. The dishes had always been there, but for the first time, so was she. The truth is, presence doesn't need to be built. It only needs to be uncovered. When you set aside the noise of the mind, even for a moment, you realize that life is not waiting somewhere else. It is here, breathing with you. So let me ask you, how many moments of today have already slipped past unnoticed because your mind was elsewhere? And how would your life change if, just for a breath, you allowed yourself to be fully where you are? Lesson: presence isn't something to search for, it is what remains when you let go of distraction. Practice 1-minute anchor. Sometime today, give yourself just 1 minute. Stop. Breathe without forcing it. Notice the air entering and leaving, the sounds moving around you, the steady weight of your own body. That single minute becomes your anchor, pulling you back to the present. And every time you return to it, the dust clears, and the light of life shines through again. Chapter 3: Freedom and Discipline. Most people think freedom means doing whatever you want whenever you want. But have you noticed how quickly that kind of freedom turns into another kind of prison? It's like a garden with no fences. At first, it feels endless. You can plant anything, go anywhere. But soon the weeds take over, the soil loses its richness, and the beauty is gone. Without structure, what looked like freedom becomes chaos. True freedom is not found in the absence of limits. It's found in the discipline that shapes and guides us. Think about a river. If water spreads everywhere with no banks to hold it, it becomes a swamp, stagnant, lifeless. But when the river is contained within its banks, it flows strong, carrying life with it. Discipline is those riverbanks. They don't stop the water, they give it direction. I once knew a man who thought freedom meant indulging every desire, eating whenever he felt hungry, staying up as late as he wanted, saying yes to every impulse. But over time, his body grew tired, his mind restless, and his heart uneasy. When he began to practice small disciplines, set meal times, consistent rest, daily meditation, he discovered a different kind of freedom. He was no longer controlled by cravings or whims. He chose when to act and when to wait. He realized freedom is not the ability to do anything. It is the strength to not be enslaved by everything. Ask yourself, when you say you want more freedom, what do you really mean? Is it the freedom to choose wisely or simply the permission to follow every impulse? Are you guiding your life like a river with banks, or are you letting it spill out, turning into a swamp? Lesson: real freedom is not the absence of discipline, but the mastery that discipline creates. Practice the gentle boundary. Today, pick one small area of your life. Maybe the time you go to bed, the way you check your phone, or how you snack. Instead of indulging every urge, place a gentle boundary around it. Notice what happens when you follow it. At first, it may feel like restriction, but with time, it feels like strength. And in that strength, you will taste the quiet sweetness of true freedom. Chapter 4: The Mind, Friend or Enemy. The mind is like a wild horse. Left untrained, it runs in every direction, dragging you through thorn bushes and over cliffs. But when guided with patience, it becomes your loyal companion, carrying you farther than your feet could ever take you. The same energy that can throw you down can also lift you up. The difference lies in whether you hold the reins. How many times has your own mind turned against you? You're about to start something important, but a voice whispers, "You're not good enough." You try to rest, but thoughts of tomorrow keep racing in circles. The mind invents arguments, repeats old mistakes, and convinces you that its chatter is the truth. And yet that same mind, when calm, is capable of profound wisdom, creativity, and compassion. Nature gives us a reminder. Watch the sky during a storm. Clouds gather, thunder roars, lightning splits the air. But behind the chaos, the vast sky remains untouched. Your thoughts are the storm, your mind is the sky. The problem is not that thoughts appear. The problem is believing that the storm is all that exists. A friend once described her anxiety like being stuck in a house where every room echoed with noise. She thought the noise was her. But through meditation, she realized she could step outside the house. The noise didn't stop immediately, but she discovered space around it. And in that space, freedom. So let me ask you, are you riding your horse, or is your horse dragging you? Are you the sky that holds the storm, or are you chasing every cloud as if it were permanent? Lesson: the mind can be your greatest enemy or your strongest ally. Awareness is the hand that holds the reins. Practice naming the clouds. The next time a heavy thought appears, don't wrestle with it. Simply name it: fear, anger, or worry, as if pointing to a cloud drifting across the sky. See it, acknowledge it, and let it pass. Each time you do, you remind yourself, you are not the storm, you are the sky. Chapter 5: Energy, Balance, and the Art of Living. Life is like a candle. In a quiet room, the flame burns steady, giving light and warmth. But when exposed to constant wind, the same flame flickers, struggles, and burns out long before its time. Our energy works in the same way. Without balance, without rhythm in how we eat, sleep, breathe, and live, we burn ourselves out, mistaking exhaustion for productivity. We often think peace is a matter of the mind alone. But how can the mind rest if the body is in chaos? Too little sleep, too much stimulation, food that harms more than nourishes. These are the winds that shake our flame. You may have noticed, when you're overtired or drained, even the smallest worry feels like a mountain. But when your body is cared for, the same problem looks smaller, lighter, easier to face. Think of a tree in a meadow. Its branches reach toward the sky only because its roots sink deep into the soil. Balance works the same way. To grow toward wisdom, you must root yourself in the simple practices that sustain you. Mindful meals, steady rest, time for breath and movement. I once knew a man who was highly successful in his career. On the surface, he had everything: money, recognition, influence. Yet his energy was always collapsing. He skipped meals, slept little, and treated his body like a tool to be replaced instead of a temple to be cared for. By the time he realized what was happening, his health was already fragile. Only when he began to honor small rhythms, regular meals, daily walks, time for silence, did he rediscover not just health, but joy. Success tasted different when he finally had the strength to savor it. So I ask you, are you protecting your flame, or are you letting the winds of imbalance consume it? When was the last time you gave yourself the gift of a full night's sleep, a meal eaten in peace, a moment to breathe without rushing to the next task? Lesson: balance is not luxury, it is the foundation of clarity, energy, and peace. Practice: the evening reset. Tonight, before you sleep, take just 5 quiet minutes. Put away your phone, sit or lie down, close your eyes, and breathe slowly. Recall one simple rhythm you want to honor tomorrow, maybe waking at the same time, eating without distraction, or walking mindfully for a few minutes. Set that rhythm gently in your mind. This is how you protect your flame, one small choice at a time. Conclusion: closing the lamp. My friend, worry will always try to follow you like a shadow that refuses to leave. But shadows disappear the moment you turn toward the light. You don't have to fight every anxious thought, and you don't have to solve tomorrow tonight. All you need is the courage to put down the lamp you've been burning at noon and to trust the sunlight that's already here. If this message touched you, stay with me on this journey. Subscribe to Infinite Buddhist Teachings, not as a student following a teacher, but as a friend walking beside another friend. And in the comments, share one worry you're ready to release. You'll be surprised how light life feels when you let someone else carry a little of that burden with you. So tonight, before you sleep, ask yourself gently, do I want to carry this worry another day? Or is it time to let it go and finally rest?